Round 18 of 20 in the ABN Champ Car World Series campaign at one of the most famous racetracks on the planet. The Auto Club Speedway, the 2-mile cathedral to top speed and 3-wide racing. Rick James, joined by Liv Hayward by my side. Liv, welcome to what is effectively the quarterfinal for the Champ Car World Series.
Absolutely. We have 3 races left to go in our championship campaign, but crucially, this is also the 3rd and final round of our Triple Crown, and that means points are doubled. Speaking of points, let's have a look at the standings. There are still about 200 points on offer between the final 3 races. There you can see our top 3. Nicholas Pressey leads Christina Ryan by 32 and Tucker Sawyer by 39. Those are your 3 championship protagonists. The rest of the field mathematically eliminated from the title. And so it is a fight between 3 drivers. Christina Ryan looking for her 2nd title, the first driver to complete 2 championships in the series. Pressey and Sawyer both looking for their first.
3 drivers in the mix, and it's double points on offer tonight, if I'm correct, Liv. Is that right?
Yep, that means 100 points for the race win, 80.
So the championship could swing in. So the championship could swing in any direction.
Yeah, it is crucial.
That's brilliant.
That drivers hold it together right now. I am going to double check something real quick. I believe that drivers are allocated 1 fast repair for the longer race format. But I could...
Let's check that race format. It's going to be mighty important. Practice just coming to a close here in the top left corner of your screen. Then we're going to have our 4-lap qualifying session for each individual car. So 5 minutes of qualifying, 4 laps each. And we're going to go straight into our 155-lap race. If you just tuned in, you have not missed a thing. Getting ready to go. Liv,
yeah.
It seems like such a long time ago that we started this season. It was February. We did have a month's break at the end of the summer. But it seems silly that we say, oh, all this work, all this preparation, but let's be honest, sim racing or not, it is a ton of work and a ton of preparation to get to this point in the season, especially if you're one of those 3 championship contenders.
Yeah, a huge amount of dedication required, and it is truly the home stretch. 3 races in the next 3 weeks to see at home. We have Portland next week, a rescheduled race after some earlier issues, and then we are going to be going through to Chicagoland, where we are going to see out the season. I need to change some settings real quick, so while Nicholas Pressey gets the first lap underway, I'm going to quickly scramble to do that. Whoops. And you all did not miss a thing. Nicholas Pressey comes to the line to finish off lap number 1, goes below nearly goes onto the grass a little bit there, actually. That is not allowed during the race, but is fair game in qualifying, and Pressey does go to the top of the board with that lap. He's going to reset and go again. Let's see what Emma Kruder does on this. Just starting lap number 2, goes 5th fastest. Kruder, a road course ace, has potential results on ovals as well, but looking to show out strong in the Triple Crown as Tucker Sawyer goes to 2nd fastest. So this is where that championship fight becomes absolutely vital. Sawyer is going to continue on for this 2nd lap. We'll see if he finds an improvement. We saw Pressey go immediately back to pit lane and reset. So we'll see if strategy pays off here on lap number 2.
4 laps really isn't that much when you're tuning them out at 32 and change every single lap. So they're going to go by in an instant here. So it's the best of your 4 laps? Is that right?
Best of 4 laps, indeed. Toya did find a little bit, but it was only good enough for 2nd place. Now we follow Christina Ryan, currently in that championship fight, looking to start towards the front of the field. It's lap number 1 for the number 80 machine. Is she gonna go low here? Yes, but not below the yellow line. Maybe setting up for a second lap, potentially. Never mind, it is good enough for second place right now. So it's a really strong first run for Christina. But still Nicholas Pressey at the top of the board. Your championship top 3 are 1, 2, 3 in qualifying right now.
We'll see just how far that lasts. $1:45 to go in this qualifying session. And then 155 laps on offer tonight. Liv, how far are they going to go on fuel?
So we are expecting between 36 and maybe 44 laps, potentially. Around 40 is the rough estimate. So 3 stops guaranteed, a 4th stop potentially. But of course, it depends on where the drivers find cautions. 8 tyre sets available, I believe, for tonight's race. So that is the one on the car plus 7 in the pit lane. So plenty of time if there are pit stops or cautions to make those unscheduled stops and get some fresh tyres on. As for fuel, it is going to be a long run. The Triple Crowns do have the full length tank that the remainder of the races do not have.
And that's a really interesting point as well. We're going to have a 3-wide start. It's going to be extremely cagey, but you know me. I like the conservative role at the beginning of a race, especially these big ones. I'm going to stick around to the back because there will inevitably be a crash at some point, and just conserve my stuff and try to survive once the first few drivers get eliminated.
Yeah, and it's especially important to have that careful start because we have actually had a sort of last-minute change to the car for strange iRacing reasons, and it means that drivers have not had too much practice in the pack, not had too much practice on this setup, as Christina Ryan has just gone fastest by 4/1000ths of a second. That actually is going to end the session, and just at the last moment of the session, Christina Ryan takes pole position. But yeah, it is going to be a cagey first stint because drivers just don't quite have the practice that they would normally have. And they could really use that first stint to find their footing in the race. There's plenty of time to get to the front of the field. So using that additional runway effectively is going to be absolutely vital. But we are, as we mentioned, lining up nice and quickly for the start of the race, and why don't we catch these drivers before they get into 3-wide formation? So I grab it to be off 2-wide. Rick, let's go through the starting lineup for the final leg of the Triple Crown for 2025, the ABN California 500.
Chris Ryan's going to start on the pole with Brooklyn's Nick Pressey right to her outside. 2 championship contenders starting in row number 1 with my man, the myth, the legend, Bryce Saucier in 3rd. And another one of our championship contenders, Tucker Sawyer, well, the 3rd of our 3 contenders, sitting in that 4th position. Row 3 is going to hold Colin McDonough and Lily Pelletier Sharp, the only French pilot in today's race. Then we move on to the next row. We've got Mo Perry, Ben McDonald, the New Zealand driver, a rookie, making a rare appearance. Mitch Zamato and Lilac Zier are going to be filling out that 5th row, followed by our resident Argentine and our resident Belgian, Matthias Marcomini and Emma Kruger. Eli Sassett, Carmen Sienna starting 13th and 14th, followed by a couple more Americans in Hunter Peach and Jason Duckworth. When's the last time you saw Hunter Peach on a racetrack? Our Brazilians are joining us today. Liv, Victor Guilherme in the 17th position, Bren Roberts in the 18th position, and Edson Santos will be rounding out the field. The lonely car in row 10. That is our 19-car lineup for our final Triple Crown race.
And it is a very strong lineup indeed. We are going to get rolling in just a moment's time, and then we are going to see the field get formed up in those 3-wide groups. It'll be 6 rows of 3, and then Edson Santos in row 7 looking to go from the back to the front. And here go our drivers. A little bit of confusion, it seems like, as we roll away from pit road. No, it's I think procedure is a pace car get a little bit of head start because it allows drivers to launch right out of turn 4 rather than waiting for that restart zone and the initial flag signal. I mean, it's a wonderful sound hearing these engines, about 700 horsepower under the right foot. And now they all roll past. The only time you get some quiet in one of these races is while the pace car is out on the track. We are about to
Liv, you got to go see an
in just
IndyCar
a
race.
few moments' time.
We got to get you an IndyCar race. We need to get you to the United States. You've got to go see an IndyCar race because these things just for 1.6 liter turbocharged little motors, they make a great amount of sound. And I've been to all the NASCAR races you can imagine. I've been to several a lot less IndyCar races, a lot fewer. But Liv, you got to go to one. Save your money. Come to the United States. Go to an IndyCar race. It's unbelievable. Unfortunately, I've never been to one at an oval before, and I will certainly never see an oval race at what was the California Speedway, now Auto Club. But to anybody that can hear this, if you have not yet been to an IndyCar race, it is the best fan experience in motorsports, the best bang for your buck.
It's absolutely on the bucket list. I have that marked off for sure. I do think maybe the loudest cars that I have heard. I mean, I did have a chance to go to a NASCAR race a couple of years ago. But I also, last weekend, got to go to the ELMS race, and the unrestricted LMP2 machines it's so loud compared to the LMP3 and GT3 machines, but I know they don't hold candle to these Dallara IR18s. It is same manufacturer, but they really get to take the weights off when it comes to these cars, and
and I've seen in the
looking forward to it.
I've seen in the United States the IMSA races, and of course they pair well with the IndyCar races as well. But the sports car racing is just so much fun. There is a fantastic, brutal charm about NASCAR. There's so many of them. It's the loudest thing you're going to hear for miles, and it's a blisteringly good time. But it is a different flavor of racing. So because I see NASCAR more often than I see IndyCar, I feel like it's more of a special treat watching open wheels or sports cars. Certainly, it's almost like not I was going to say same liquor, different flavor. It's really not. It's almost like the same soft drink, different flavor, isn't it? Almost the difference between Coke and Sprite and Fanta. Just depends on what flavor you like. With these oval races, because we're going to have a 3-wide start, because this track has so much history and it's so wide, it's so long, it's so fast. This is one of those really, really special events. It's not as honestly. This is going to sound weird, but I think this is even more special of a race than the Indianapolis race this year, just because of the track that we're at.
I love Indianapolis. I don't know if I can agree with that, but
you can disagree. You can disagree. That's okay.
I do love this place. I honestly think I rate this place higher than Michigan, which I know some people might turn their heads at
okay,
as well.
That is one step too far. I won't have such blasphemy.
The reason is it's so much easier to get these beautiful days in California where these cars really have to dance and skate over the tarmac. It is 105 Fahrenheit down on the track right now, 82 Fahrenheit on a beautiful September morning. And
Liv, what's 80 Fahrenheit in Church of England?
28 Celsius.
28 centigrade.
Yeah.
Okay, now for the layman, like myself, Michigan and Auto Club, to the naked eye, are identical. Where is the difference between them when we actually start to examine?
I mean, unfortunately, one of the differences is that we still have Michigan, of course. But I think one of the main differences is just the nature of the track surface itself. Michigan is a little bit higher banked, just a couple degrees more. But it's also, I feel a little bit bumpier. Fontana's this interesting track where the lanes themselves can be kind of smooth, but then the transitions between them can be quite difficult to manage. Whereas Michigan, especially down the front stretch, there's some really awkward bumps on the inside line that can unsettle the car. And so because of that, the setup you have to bring is a little bit different. And also you tend to get slightly hotter temps over in California, and I think that is really the best part of this. Enough yapping though, we are on our 4th and final pace lap here. Let's bring the tower up. And I am so excited to get this underway. In just a mile's time, we are going to be roaring through for the final race of the Triple Crown. Rick?
Who won the last two?
Oh, goodness, I've got to go into the stats.
I know. You tell me here. We got 3/4 of a mile to figure this out. You'll let me know before we go green.
Absolutely. The Arrowhead 500 was won by none other than Nicholas Pressey. And then teammate Bryce Sosa won the US 500 in Michigan. So Pressey, starting from the middle of the front row, is going for a season sweep with his teammate. Can they hold on? Can Christina Ryan vault her championship charge? Or can Tucker Sawyer find it done on the ovals? We are green here in California for 500 kilometers of racing action.
And for the most part, they're calm. Look at that. Single file into turn number 1 with Christina Ryan having a great start, but they pick up speed and the draft is an immediate effect. They're going to be swapping spots like this all race long. Pressey immediately to the outside with Bryce Saucier in close tow. Christina Ryan still leading. Liv, you're the driver here, and you can see straight away, even coming off of turn number 4, Christina Ryan has to struggle with Nick Pressey, just trying to find any sort of way around the race car. If you're planning a slingshot pass, how far behind must you begin your approach? You understand what I'm saying? Like, where does the draft kick in, and at what part of the track are you going to maximize this draft to get the best pass possible?
I think this track's wide enough where you don't really need to worry about getting it done on the straightaway. You can complete the move. You can get the move done in the turns, as that was a tag off the wall from, I think, Mo Perry up there. I don't think you need to worry too much about how far behind you are. I think it's more about getting into the clean lane so you have the clean air on the nose. You can see Sosa offset about a lane and a half higher. Now tries to go to the low side. Christina is wise to it. And Bryce will move to the top side and try and get the run around the outside. We are 3 laps in again. It's going to be a long stint. Got to get towards about lap 40 before the first pit stop. And so staying out of trouble is absolutely the name of the game right now.
We'll see just how far this goes on. Although I will say I am surprised and I'm also pleased that the drivers have decided to give themselves the racing room here. But of course, we'll see how long this lasts. Bryce Saucier on the outside making the move for first.
Yeah, and you can tell that Bryce wants to get to the front of the field. Pressey has not followed. Pressey has actually dropped back about 3 positions, is just sitting at the tail end of this group. I like that. I think that going for the fuel save strategy this early and just letting yourself feel your way into a long race like this is what will find you the most success. But I think the safest place to be, if you have the chance, is at the very front of the field. And that's what Bryce wants to do right now.
Only 5 laps in, Liv. 150 to go when we cross the line. Bryce Saucier, Chris Ryan. How about the Kiwi? Ben McDonald mixing it up in the top 5. Nick Pressey, Mo Perry, also part of this top 5 as well. They're starting to get close, Liv. They're not giving each other the space that they used to 5 laps ago.
Yeah, and the field's also occupied. I'm wondering whether some drivers at the front are maybe trying to do a little bit of fuel save, maybe if not into map 2 or 3, just to extend a little bit. Bryce Sosa has got the nose ahead. McDonald has gone to the outside as well. Bryce doesn't chop the nose off Christina Ryan. I think had the chance to take that low side into turn 3. Opted to give the room. And we will continue on for another lap where it's Christina Ryan on that inside groove. And Bryce Sosa did lead the lap, but does not quite have the number 8 dispatched yet.
Saucier still with that great command on the outside. He's got Tucker Sawyer sitting behind him. No, that's not Tucker Sawyer. I'm sorry, that's Ben McDonald. Tucker Sawyer is outside the top 5. There he is on the bottom line. Nick Pressey following in that middle lane. 3 cars starting to shift to the outside. Bryce Saucier is the race leader with the rookie behind him. In the outside lane, Mo Perry now trying to make some space happen there. Nick Pressey has, it looks like, who is that? One of the Ascent cars behind him. All these cars run different liveries sometimes. It's difficult to keep up. That's Emma Kruger in the white and purple machine behind Nick Pressey. Bren Roberts, who started second to last, he's inside the top 10.
Yeah, great moves, up 9 positions already in this one. Brent Roberts looking to push through the field. And again, there's these two philosophies. Drivers, just as you've qualified at the front, it doesn't mean that your plan is to run at the front of the field. Brent Roberts very clearly wants to run up at the front. And then you have drivers like Lily Sharp, who started on that second row in 6th place, who's happy falling towards the back right now. But you see these sort of 2 lanes form. 2 wides easy here. 3 wides a little bit tricky, and then more than that, I think you're asking for trouble.
Nine laps underway of the scheduled 155. 2 and 3 wide, not really being exercised yet, but Eli Sasek making a big jump to the top side there. He's got Carmen Sienna behind him. To the inside with the red rims, one of our Brazilians, Vitor Guilherme, in that rainbow number 7. Sawyer ahead of him on the inside line, followed by pole sitter Christina Ryan. Emma Kruger in that white and purple. No, I'm sorry. Emma Kruger's on the outside in the black machine. Liv, who in the world is in that white and purple machine? Is it Mo Perry?
Mo Perry. Mo Perry nearly washed up into Ben McDonald. Managed to keep a hold of it. That's the danger of the dirty air on the low side. And I think now Mo is happy falling towards the back of the group. Sometimes you get a little bit too close to comfort, and then you realize you maybe need to back out of it a little bit.
So, Liv, let me ask you here, realistically, what does a driver do at this point? Look at this, Nick Perry to the middle. That's such a brave move. Nick Pressey has gained a lot of patience in the past few years, and I've been watching him race a lot. However, this is not one of those patient moments. I have seen moments like this cost Nick Pressey more than what the move is worth. Eli Sasek in the back also mimicking those sharp slices from the bottom to the top of the racetrack. Liv, this cannot continue forever.
It can't, and there's going to become a point where these moves get too aggressive in an instance cause. The question is whether the tires start to wear out soon enough that the field naturally does spread out, because that is the other factor in a race like this. With how hot the track is and with the corner speeds well above 200 miles an hour, you are going to be burning up those Firestone tires very quickly. As Bren Roberts goes to the outside, he is up 15 positions from where he started, and he's looking to try and break through this Nicholas Pressey eMotorsports battery. You want to get these positions now so that when the tires start to wear out, you have the track position and you don't have to fight the dirty air and the old tires at the same time. As Roberts goes through into 2nd place.
Bryce Saucier keeping that inside all to himself. All right, driver, you tell me. 14 laps into this race, what's your preferred line?
Inside is always a nice line. Because you can often get out of the way of instance, just get ducked low if something happens ahead of you. If you're the leader on the low side is usually preferred. But I do love the outside line here. If you can get up past everyone's dirty air against the wall, you can often find some grip that other drivers aren't using. Bren Roberts, I think, led that lap and is looking to complete the move on Bryce Sosa. This is the problem with the low side. It's a tighter line, and so you're having to work the wheel more, and the tires can start to fall off over time. But just keep
question as well, is how long is he going to keep this up? Because surely Bryce has to, or not Bryce. No, it is Bryce. I'm sorry. Bryce has to know he's burning up these resources more than what he can afford. Meanwhile, Bren Roberts on the inside, and then that's Emma Kruger on the outside. Eli Sasek wants a taste. Will they go 4 wide, Olivia? Sasek thinks otherwise.
Yeah, just didn't quite have to run off the corner. You can see how many drivers are stuck to that wall, looking for additional grip further back in the pack. Up at the front, you just don't quite get the run. It's such a long line up there. But you see Sasek really struggling in the mid-corner to make it work. Even Kruger can't quite keep up that far up the racetrack. The middle groove is really the balance that Bren Roberts has, but he's just not quite been able to clear. He's been so close since turn 3 the past couple of laps, but then he gives the room a little bit of a wobble between the two of them. And Sosa is holding on for now as we approach about the halfway point of this first stint.
Drivers expected to go just under 40 laps on 1 tank of fuel. Live effectively. That makes this, what, a 4-stop event if it goes green?
It depends if you're running at the front or not, as Eli Sasset wants to. Makes the move to the outside, is now blocking off Emma Kruger in that high side for 3rd place. It's about 36 laps full push, as Sasset is really struggling for handling right now. If you fully save, you can get it to about 44 laps. I've done it in the past, and that would make it a pretty safe 3-stop strategy. The question is, if you don't have anyone helping you on that strategy, can you make it work efficiently? We've seen in the past drivers almost make up a full pit stop in the Arrowhead 500. There's no reason to think why they couldn't do the same here at Fontana. So the choice between full push and the fuel save might not be so simple. Dr. Sawyer's falling back to the field a little bit. Ben McDonald making a 2nd charge through, now into 4th place.
I'm still just surprised and pleased that the drivers have made no contact with each other yet. I think that was Eli Sasek that almost got into the wall, or Emma Kruger, one of the black cars. How about Mo Perry to the outside? 3 wide with Bryce Saucier, Bren Roberts in the middle. They will fight for the top spot. And now it's a 2-horse race. Roberts on the outside, Saucier on the inside. Bryce Saucier almost gives it a little too much wheel, and they will be neck and neck at the line. So, Liv, we know that Bryce Saucier is going to live on the inside line now. That's going to burn up his tires. So, presumably, Bryce either has to lay off the inside line or come in sooner than any of his competitors.
Yeah, well, you won't be pitting for tires. You're pitting at the end of the fuel tank for sure. It's just going to be whether he can hold onto that race lead. You saw that he's washing up a little bit on exit of these corners. He's using that 2nd lane on exit because it's just so hard to hold it to that very white line on old tires, especially as that temperature tits up. It's just crossed noon here in Fontana, California, and the track temp is up to 108.
Saucier still in the middle. No, I'm sorry. You know what, Liv? I'm going to keep on confusing Bryce Saucier and Bren Roberts all night long. Bren Roberts goes to the lead. Now Bryce Saucier will take the middle. So here's a fun thing. Let's see how Bryce handles the top lane, because presumably Bren's now going to defend up that inside line. One interesting thing I've learned over these last 23 laps, though, Liv, is that if your defense is tight, that you can make the inside line work for you, especially on the last lap.
Yeah, and it's really a battle of territory. If you're the car on the inside, you want to enter as wide as possible to the corner, but you don't want to give the opportunity for someone to tuck up your inside, and you've got to make sure that you have room to the outside to move to open up the entry. You can see Bryce is giving that room right now because it's lap 24. If it's lap 154, I wouldn't be surprised if the car on the outside keeps you pinched to that 1st lane, duck out very suddenly on corner entry to open up their corner, and leave you stranded almost in the same way you do on a road course. Oh, and Bren's struggling in the dirt. Yeah, washes up. It's Mo Perry to the lead. Roberts does a great job to not wash up into the lights of Bryce Sosa and Emma Kruger, but it was Perry to lead very briefly. Now Bryce Sosa fighting it back on the outside line and will clear. And I think it's a little bit of jostling for position now as we get towards the end of the tire life.
These two are going to, well, I say these two. Bren Roberts isn't even in this mix anymore. Bren Roberts has decided, you know what, I'm just going to hang out back here. Bryce Saucier still working hard, having Emma Kruger now challenge for that top spot. I don't know. Liv, and I'm thinking out loud here. What is the end game for Bryce? Because all previous knowledge and experience says it's not a sustainable line to maintain, but every chance he gets, the 07 stays glued to that inside line, and so far it's working. Emma Kruger will now cut in front. She will be the new leader, up 11 places from where she started. 27 laps into this race, she snakes Saucier on the outside. He's really not afraid to use those resources. He's trying to use all the life out of that race car, and we still have 128 laps to go.
Yeah, and Bryce is holding on to the race lead well. I think part of the reason is just that he's not being raced particularly hard right now. Everyone wants the track position, but I think these drivers have done a great job. They've got enough experience this season that they know that it is going to be a long night, and they're giving him that little bit extra room on the low side there, making sure that he doesn't wash up into them. And because of that, it actually makes the line slightly easier to hold, because you can use a little bit less wheel, drift up knowing they're leaving the room for you, and that keeps those tires alive just that little bit longer. The one problem Bryce does have is that he is going to be running out of fuel as Kruger gets tight on the low side behind, falls down into third place. Bryce is going to be one of the first drivers to pit. It's going to be probably before lap 40. And if a caution comes out before the rest of the field makes their stop, then he's going to have to take the wave run. He's going to go to the tail end of the field.
29 of the scheduled 155 underway. Since we're still just watching Brent Roberts here, Liv, I want your prediction on how far the 07 is going to be able to stay out front.
I mean, I don't think he's going to yield it on track. I think if he's not going to be in first, he's going to be in second going for the hunt. And I think it'll be lap 38 is my prediction, where Roberts will leave this fight by peeling left down pit lane.
Plenty of drivers trying to move up in this race. Vitor Guillermo started in 17th. He's in the 10th position. Eli Sasek started in 13th. He's up to 5th. Emma Kruger started in 12th. She's up to 3rd. Bren Roberts up 16 places from where he started. Clearly, somebody said, you know what? We'll just start from the back and make this work. 3 wide for the lead. Liv, who do you got?
I think I've got to have Bryce here. I think that low side is paying off that little bit better. I think this first stint is going to be the easiest one because of the lower track temp. And he's got so much experience running down there and knows that Bren is not going to pinch all that tight, though. Christina Ryan is trying to get involved. She needs a good result here today, and she is the sort of driver who would go 4 wide for the race lead if the opportunity arose. See how it worked. She fell back quite early and has now charged back through after starting on pole position. Meanwhile, Nicholas Pressey currently running down in 11th place as Saucier gets a little bit tight, I think, has to trap the throttle, and now falls down into 3rd place. And it's Kruger versus Roberts for the race lead.
32 laps in. Pit stops are what, about 6 or 7 laps away. Bryce Saucier now gets outside of the top 3. Emma Kruger to the inside. Caution's out. Liv, caution is out on lap 33. And that's not Bryce Saucier.
No, it's Tucker Sawyer.
Oh no, one of the championship contenders on a double points day. Liv, the number 19 comes into this race 3rd in points. Luckily, there is a fast repair to use, but one of the championship contenders could be in serious trouble. Let's see what happened to the 19.
Yeah, and he's had to tow, crucially. That is a nightmare scenario for Tucker Sawyer, and it's self-inflicted. He has to the wall
he
out of turn 4.
Turning. Is that Ben McDonald? Nick Pressey's involved. No way. 2 championship contenders. But Liv, what happened? Can we go back to turn 3? Because what in the world happened? The car just stopped turning on the inside line in turn number 4. Nowhere for the rookie Kiwi Ben McDonald to go. Nowhere for the championship leader Nick Pressey to go. Chris Ryan is sitting in the hot seat. What the hell happened to Tucker Sawyer? We're on board with the 19 now. He just stopped turning. Let's have a look. He downshifts way too late. Nowhere for Ben McDonald to go. There's Nick Pressey trying to avoid the situation altogether. And this is going to shake up the championship big time, because there goes the mulligan for Sawyer and Pressey. Surely they're not going to get these cars repaired in quick order. If they do, I'll be astonished. In any case, let's see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, Pressey has the easier job from this, because he can take the fast repair, can get back out on the lead lap, because he rolls into the pit box now. You see it there, and there's the wheel being reattached. Christina, obviously, actually, she does win the race off pit road. Great stop from her, and she takes the race lead. Pressey leaves pit road in the 9th position. But crucially, and this is the problem for Tucker Sawyer, he had to tow back to pit lane. He's currently 2 laps down. The tow, I think, is just finished, so now he's getting service. Now he has the fast repair. He's 2 laps down.
He absolutely does. Yup, so wow. Yeah, he's going to be at least 1 lap off the pace here, possibly 2 if we can't get moving. The pace car's in 3. So, Liv, I think this is the perfect time. Let's take a short break. We'll get reorganized. Fans, don't go anywhere. We are, a quarter of the way through this race, if you will. Actually, less than that, to be honest. We're going to get this figured out here. We're going to go to break. We're going to come back for some more green flag racing. But the championship turned upside down with this recent caution. Ready to go racing again. 35 laps of the scheduled 155 about to be complete. 120 laps remain. Our first and only caution of the race, because Tucker Sawyer and Nick Pressey, 2 of our 3 championship contenders, involved in a crash. Christina Ryan gets the jump of a lifetime. Vitor Guillermo in that 2nd position. Colin McDonough in 3rd. We're racing again at Auto Club with 120 to go. Liv Hayward, Chris Ryan is a sitting duck.
She is, but you can see she's snaky. She wants to try and break this draft as much as possible, soften that blow for when the cars get back towards her. And right now it's just Guillaume who's slowly approaching. She might be able to defend this one pretty well. Is she going to try and hold the low side across the field? Yes, she is. that caution came early, and so the fuel save might be even more difficult to manage now. And I feel like Strina might be the sort of driver who is going to go full push. But Vitor Diem on the outside line is looking to make the move for the race lead. We've got McDonough and Sasek behind. Vitor is not clear just yet, but is certainly going for it on that top side.
Can't make it stick on the inside. Christina Ryan will now drive as low as possible, and she will just concede leading that lap to the Brazilian. Inside the final 120, drivers making it approximately 38 laps on a tank of fuel, Liv, so we're still looking at least 2 more stops before this one is over. Fuel saving or not, these cars make an excellent noise, Liv. Let's turn up the volume just a little bit and get some more sound from these iRacing hot rods.
Absolutely. And a caution out on the racetrack. A few drivers involved. Vitor Diem, Colin McDonough, Eli Sasek. As we come in for our second caution of the night. And the cranky up. Curse continues. We are back under yellow for the second time. Let's see how it happened. Guillaume was running in that 4th position. And netcode with Bryce Sosa. And you see the field scatter on the backstretch. Super, super unfortunate there. Let's get another look at exactly what went wrong for these drivers. You can see such a wide margin, but unfortunately, drivers getting collected in that. And then a few getting caught up. Again, it was McDonough and Sasset, the drivers with meatballs, as a result as well. So maybe Carbon Sienna involved as well. We go back under caution now. And there's split strategies. Ryan, Kruger, Zir, and Pressy all stay out. Bryce Sosa leads the rest of the field down pit lane for a splash of fuel. I've got to say, I do like this strategy call. Mark Amini will also move from the back of the field up into 5th place. But interesting to see the split strategies here from Nicholas Pressy, eMotorsport especially. And the 94 opting for the track position here with 110 laps to go. It is a splash and dash for everyone in that group. No tires being taken. So we will re-rack the order for our second restart of the night. It's still Christina Ryan who leads the way. It is Kruger, Zir, Pressy, and Marcamini who stay out. It is the rest of the field who make that stops. And unfortunately, all 3 of those drivers involved, 39, 9, and 7, have all had to tow. They're going to lose a lap or 2. One driver who is very, very lucky indeed is Tucker Sawyer, who's still running without a fast repair, but now has a chance to get back on the lead lap. And he is going to try and fight back through this field. We're going to take a quick break. We will be right back in just a moment's time with the second restart of the night. ...112 laps left to go of our 155 lap event here. It is the ABN California 500. It is the second restart of the night. The field in the hands of Christina Ryan, who once again gets a great getaway ahead of the field. The top 5 did not come in under that last pit stop, so they have been out for 8 laps longer than the rest of the field. Be a little bit shorter on fuel, but in exchange they have that crucial track position. As Lilac Zir is going to move to the outside. Bryce Sosa did go 3 wide into turn number 3. Bryce, the first of the drivers who made that pit stop, and he is already looking to try and get up to the front of the field. Christina Ryan leads lap number 44. Ahead of Zir, Sosa, Roberts now, and Kruger. Seeing how strong Bryce has been in the early running. We also know Nicholas Pressey, his teammate, now without a fast repair, in a very, very nervous position. Sosa fighting the outside with Christina Ryan for the race lead. Bren Roberts might try and make it 3 wide across the line. Will, and Bryce does lead that lap. How are they going to enter turn 1? Christina takes a little bit of a wider arc. That's the benefit of having a driver give you a little bit more room as they hurtle down the backstretch. 3 wide once again, Rick. This is a tricky moment after our second restart.
Almost going 3 wide, 2 rows deep. Nick Pressey is back in this mix. Christina Ryan at the front, and with Nick Pressey only 3 positions behind her, Christina Ryan really does have that ace in the hole because she hasn't been involved in a crash. She has at least 1 fast repair remaining. Liv, I don't know if you saw Nick Pressey on that last pit stop cycle due to that caution. Pressey's dropping into the middle of the field where he doesn't need to be right now. Do you remember him using that fast repair under the last yellow? Not the most previous yellow, but the first caution.
Oh, yeah, no, his wheel was very much detached. He was able to bring it back down to pit lane, unlike Tucker Sawyer, who has made his way back onto the lead lap now. But Pressey absolutely had to go to the spare car. We know Sawyer had to go to the spare car. Out of our Championship 3, it is just Christina Ryan who has that safety net. And she has just the second safety net of being at the front of the field. If you can lead the way, then you're pretty safe, although if people are pinching you 3 wide like this, it's not so simple. Emma Kruger looking for the race leader on the outside of Bryce Sosa. The 07, very useful in that low line, has been maximizing the amount of track available from the other drivers and is going to continue to lead the way.
Bryce Saucier back to the front. Interesting, because now I'm thinking that there he goes back to the inside line. We were talking during one of the breaks that the track is not hot enough for Bryce to really be shredding the tires like you would expect on the inside line. So this plan could work for him.
Yeah, it's definitely possible to get the move done around the outside, but drivers need to be a little bit more harsh with Bryce, honestly. They need to be pinching that car tight. You see there, Cruder goes for it on corner entry. Tries to hold the 0-7 tight to the inside. It's about cutting off the entry. You can see how Bryce is opening up that line. And that is what you need to cut off if you want to get those tires to burn out over the course of the run. No one's willing to do it just yet, but as we get towards the end of the race, people are going to start to shave those margins down, and I think that inside line is going to start to falter.
So Saucier has command of the inside, and they almost look like an Olympic running track, the way they're staggered up the racetrack. Emma Kruger up in that second line, Christina Ryan at the top, being followed by Mitch Semedo, Mo Perry in the white and mauve machine, Eli Sasek in the cyan and black car. Now to that inside line, Bren Roberts, Nick Pressey following behind. And this is, again, this is where the drivers need to settle. We still have more than 100 laps to go. And if it stays green from here, it's still 2 more pit stops to the end.
Yeah, a guaranteed 2 pit stops to the end, potentially 3, and especially for the drivers who opted to not come into that last caution. They've got a more difficult fuel run to make, but look at where they are out on track right now. It's a difficult situation. And it's not really gained them much in the way of track position. Kruder and Ryan are still at the front, but Zare and Pressey have fallen to the tail end, as has Marcamini. And so it's a loss of long-term performance for not that much gain in the short term.
So quickly approaching that final 100. How about is that the rookie Ben McDonald trying to slice to the inside? No, it isn't. Who's that slicing to the inside in what looks like Scott Dixon's car, Liv? That's Hunter Peach. He started 11 places back in 15th. He's worked his way up to the top 5 and now trying his best to stay there.
I mean, that's not a Scott Dixon machine. That's very much a Kyle Larson paint on Hunter's car.
It's blue and orange. I genuinely thought it was Scott Dixon from the front.
I've seen that scheme a fair few times since the 500 attempts. Let's hope that Peach has better results than I've seen out of a lot of them.
Let's genuinely hope so. Yes, and then Ben McDonald, who was involved in that first accident there as well, he's back in the mix too. The thing about a race like this is that it ebbs and flows, right? So it's not surprising to see them back up here. But again, I'm coming from my perspective. It's not my style to be up there mixing it up with still 100 laps to go. Lay back until the final 50.
Yeah, it's, again, the midfield is the worst place to be in a situation like this. If you can get to the very front, as we see from Kruder and Ryan right now, then it feels very safe seeing all of the potential issues in the rearview mirror. The easiest way to avoid a crash is to be in front of it. But the problem is, as soon as you lose even a couple of positions, you don't have that safety anymore. And people start trying to pick you off with any positions they can. You see Semedo falling back down the order right now. And that's when being the last driver in the pack can sometimes be helpful as well. It's these drivers in the middle ground between 6th and 10th who are in the most danger typically, and it's where you don't want to be, and it's why Bryce Saucier is making the charge back through the field up into what is currently, I believe, 4th place, because Eli Sasek actually is one of the drivers at the front of the field trying to race his lap back.
We'll see just how far he gets. Saucier just put in his quickest lap, 32.93, really using that toe. And he's going faster, turns out, when he's not defending the lead on the inside line.
Well, he's faster right now, but he had to lose positions to get there. And to have that run built up, Eli is only one car away from being a lap further ahead. He still needs one more right now. But he is now ahead of this group with Kruder and Ryan behind. And are these drivers letting Eli sit there and trying to get some fuel saving done? Kruder gets tight in the dirt, and falls back to third place. I think this could be a
it's mutually beneficial. Yeah, it's beneficial. If a caution comes out, Eli Sasek gets his lap back. The leaders get to save fuel. Chris Ryan says, to hell with that. I'm going to be at the point. She's on the top side of turn number 2, 3 wide behind them. Drivers trying to stay off the wall. And that just seems to be the hardest part of anybody's day, is not making contact with the big blue thing on the outside.
Yeah, this is a track that is flat in clean air, for sure. But once you have even a couple of cars ahead of you, you just lose so much downforce on the front wing that you have to really balance the throttle, and that's what we saw from Sawyer. I think it was just carry too much mid-corner speed with too much dirty air ahead, and the car just didn't get the rotation to stay out of the wall. Drivers honestly doing a great job so far on managing that as we click off lap number 60. And it is still Eli Sasek at the front of this group. Emma Kruger, the race leader, going to the outside. And I think more than anything else, just blocking off that second lane, making sure no one else can use that clean air to get ahead of both of them.
Well, so my question is, if you're defending from the lead, besides weaving, how do you disturb the air of the competitors in front of you? Because weaving will do it, but you're also going to make yourself slower, and they're still going to catch up.
Yeah, I think the one thing that you can do to mess with people is you can choose a different line into the corner. And if the car behind pits the same line, then they're going to really feel that dirt, That's part of sort of the chess match that you have to play. It's not a particularly popular tactic, and a lot of drivers prefer that you stick to that low side and don't play those games, but with such glory on the line, people are going to end up making those calls. Eli Sasek can't hold on to the lead anymore. He's going to fall back through into the pack and back to 2 laps down. And it's Bren Roberts who takes the advantage here. Now Emma Kruder and Bryce Sosa on the inside. I think Bren's trying to save some fuel right now because he let that happen and moved all the way up to the top side.
Well, that might just be the name of the game. I mean, they might now, 63 laps into this race, have their number that they very well intend to hit. Halfway is approaching. We haven't gone a full fuel run yet, but drivers are expected to go, and we won't. That's Sasek in the wall. He's coming down the racetrack. Please avoid him. Please avoid him. That's not Nick Pressey. Who's that just went upside down?
That's Edson Santos.
Edson Santos, the Brazilian, unfortunately involved in that one, and thank God this is a sim. He comically flips over and grinds to a halt on the blue asphalt with his nose dangling, and Santos will tow to the pits. I'm going to bet that the same thing happened here. Is it? No. Oh my God, was this netcode? I would hate for Sasek's race to be ended like this on netcode. There's Santos flipping into the air. I think one more car might have got involved. Let's go back. Can we get a shot from the sky, Liv, and see if we can zoom in a bit? So this is Santos. He's about to flip. Ugh. Imagine if he does a barrel roll there. That would have been amazing. All right, let's check out Eli Sasek again. I want to see this from the top down. Let's see if there's... Can we zoom in a bit? Oh, you got to be kidding me. That's a shame. That is just a tragedy. Nobody's fault.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do. That's no one's fault. You can see clear daylight between the cars. Run it back. Run this back. You can see just inches of asphalt between them. Oh, that's acres of space, isn't it?
Yeah, and the worst thing is for Eli that the first incident that cost him the fast repair was a similar situation. Vitor Guillaume got hit with a netcode contact off turn number 2, and Eli had nowhere to go. And so both of Eli's cars used up in netcode incidents off the corner. Just a horrible break for the number 9 crew.
Let's buy him a beer, because that sucks.
Yeah, it's really terrible.
Well, let's do this, Liv. Let's break away for a moment here. We'll rack them, stack them, and get ready to do the last fewer than 90 laps. Bren Roberts being scored as your leader right now. Bryce Saucier second. Emma Kruger, Christina Ryan runs in 4th. She sits ahead of Mo Perry. Then it's Ben McDonald, Nick Pressey, Mitch Samedo, Hunter Peach, Jason Duckworth rounding out the top 10. We're going to take a break. We'll be back for the final 90 laps of racing. "89 laps of racing to go when they cross the line. Bren Roberts has control of the field with Bryce Saucier 4th in points and mathematically eliminated on his outside. Saucier's been loving the inside line all race long. We'll see what he does now. Bren Roberts this time brings them nice and slow to that line. He avoids the big long jump, and already we're 3 wide for second."
Yes, Kruger on the inside here. Bryce Saucier in that middle group. Mo Perry with a bid run on the inside. On the restarts, that inside line is so powerful because there's no danger of high speeds. Ben McDonald to the inside. Tries to get the move done. Gets blocked off. And it's Kruger and Roberts who lead the way.
They've literally learned nothing. Give each other some space, ladies and gentlemen. Let each other breathe for a moment. Just had a netcode caution, but no, they're going to go right back at it. Everybody pitting on lap 64, Liv, so that's going to put us right at the lap 100 mark for the next round of pit stops.
Yeah, and I think this might be why drivers are starting to push the aggression. We restarted with 89 laps to go. You'd need to make a 44 and a 45 lap stint to get to the end on one more green flag stop. I don't know if that's possible. What I do know is that no one's going for it because the aggression has been ramped back up. I think everyone is treating this as 3 short stints to the end from here. And I think that's why you're seeing these big moves come in early, because not only do they not have to do any fuel saving, they don't have to run this tank dry, and so they can get the most out of these tires while they have them.
Roberts on the outside, Kruger to the inside for the first time in a while. Bryce Saucier's not mixing it up for the lead. You know who is? Rookie, New Zealander, Ben McDonald. Liv, it's what? It's 9:16 Eastern time in the United States. That must mean it's 2:15 in England. What time do you suppose it is in Christchurch?
Noon? I'm not that good with time zones. I know American time zones for sports. I don't know Australian and New Zealand time zones.
It is 1:16 in the afternoon, roughly 11 hours ahead of you right now. So I'm glad he's enjoying his Friday afternoon. He sits in third right now, and he's trying to make the most of that position. Meanwhile, Hunter Peach behind him, Christina Ryan, who by the end of this race could very well leave with the points lead. How far behind Nick Pressey is she? It's not a close gap, but it's also not miles away.
Yeah, I'll pull up very
32.
quickly. 32 points for Christina Ryan, 39 for Tucker Sawyer. That's only the gap between first and fourth in a double points race, I'm pretty sure. And so, very much all up for grabs, and a DNF is going to be devastating for any driver who falls into that. As mentioned, Christina Ryan has the fast pair still left in the bank. Nicholas Pressey does not. Tucker Sawyer does not. They need to be cautious throughout the rest of this so they can win the car to the checkered flag.
I'm going to say it again for those that might have just recently joined and have not realized this. Bren Roberts started second to last. It's 4 wide for second place, by the way. Insane. But Bren Roberts started second to last, and he's leading this race by what is considered a comfortable margin at Auto Club.
Yeah, and it's not just that he's just got to the lead. He has been up front for a good portion of this race. 15 laps led already, and plenty more inside the top 5. He charged through quickly. He just didn't put the time into qualifying because he knew how long the race would be. He could work his way to the front, and that is exactly where he finds himself, only behind Emma Kruger right now, and with Mo Perry, Ben McDonnell, and Hunter Peach, all drivers who have made big gains today in the wheel tracks. There goes Bren Roberts once again to the inside, and it looks like we might be having a little bit of swap drafting between the 84 and the 70. You see, Roberts is leaving the inside open. In fact, Cruz goes to the outside this time. And we got caution. And it's Lily
Another
Sharp.
one, it's Lily Sharp. Lily Sharp on the front straight. Now, the car's not destroyed, so I'm going to guess she pancaked the wall in turn number 4. This is on lap 75 of 155, so we're as near as makes no difference, halfway.
That was a previous caution.
That is Eli Sasek with the net code, Lily Sharp in the purple 71 top side. Let's find out what happened to the French pilot.
And that's not net code.
Oh, that is not net code. That looks like one of our Brazilian pilots, either Santos or Guilherme, that had some extracurricular activities with the back end of that race car.
I think it was Santos.
That's Santos.
Yeah, Santos now has a
very
black flag,
good.
I think, potentially for incident points. That's right on board with the number 20 and see exactly how this happened. I think this is a slightly higher up camera. And I think it's just going to be that dirt. Yeah, I think it's just washing up the racetrack a little bit. See, as we slow it down, gets into the dirt, yeah, the car ahead, and then just washes up into Lily Sharp, who spins and spins and spins and might have some side pod damage on the number 71, but is still in the race and might not want to take the fast repair, to be honest. If the car
is scratch,
repairable, she might be able to hold on to that and save it for a rainy day.
I would. There's going to be another caution in this race. There has to be. This is what, our fourth caution of the race. We are
number 4,
technically not fourth caution. I don't think we've hit halfway yet, though we might this time around. Cars are going to come into the pits. So what is it? Literally everybody except Lily. No, except Edson Santos yet. Santos is staying out. Vitor Guilherme is also staying out. Eli Sasek is not even on the track. All right. Well, that's going to be our pit cycle then.
Yeah, and those are drivers taking waiver rounds, which is why they're making the call. The reason the drivers coming into pit lane is because I mentioned at the start of this run that we were just outside the one-stop window. We're now inside of the one-stop window, so everyone coming in for fuel. A couple of drivers opting for fuel only, with Mo Perry being the first one out of pit lane. A 4.2 stationary time means that he will have been in for fuel only, as was Matthias Marcamini. The rest of the field down on pit road opting for a fresh set of Firestones while they were there.
So what? This gives us another chance to put our mouths on pause. And we're going to have roughly 70 laps to go when we go back to green. Mo Perry being scored as the race leader. Don't go anywhere. Mo Perry is going to have control of the field when we come back.
We have now reached the halfway point of the ABN California 500. And as we enter the second half, it'll be under the green flag and the control of Mo Perry, who gets the jump, and we are back underway here at Fontana. It's a good launch off the line from the 54. Cruder on the high side, Bryce Sosa on the low side behind. Gonna get the run through, as is potentially Christina Ryan up into the third position. Remember, Mo is on all tyres. One of two drivers to not take tyres under the last pit stop after a 10 or so lap fuel run. And Bryce Sosa immediately to the inside to try and make that work for the race lead. And the 0-7 will be back at the point, with Perry, Cruder and Ryan behind.
Neatly organized, 3 wide on the front. Bryce Saucier is leading the way as Edson Santos enters the pits. 2 Bryces outside. It's Mo Perry and then Emma Cruder. Back to 2 at the front, 2 by 2, 4, 5 rows deep. Nick Pressey, the championship leader, on the outside. His championship rival, Tucker Sawyer, directly ahead of them. And both of their championship rivals, Christina Ryan, right in front of the both of them. Liv, this would be a terrible time for a crash to happen.
I mean, when's a good time for a crash to happen?
When the championship hunters are involved, I guess. But that, after 4 cautions in the first half of this race, now I'm just paranoid that every time 2 cars get near each other, they're going to crash.
Yeah, especially with the netcode that we have seen so far.
Oh, that sucks.
It's been a tricky race, but we are into the second half. Again, drivers not gonna quite be able to make it to the end with one stop in full push. So drivers might be batting it down just a little bit, but at the same time, we haven't seen a full green flag pit stop cycle just yet. And so I don't know how much drivers are necessarily thinking about the fuel situation, or whether they're thinking that there will be another caution, and it's all about track position right now. It is Kruder who leads the way. Perry, again on those older tyres, running in the second position. And the rest of the field a little bit further back right now, not really on top of those front two.
Emma Kruger's enjoying the front of this race. Mo Perry is still sticking by her. And then how about Hunter Peach sitting in third as well? So the championship hopefuls are near each other. They're near the front of this race. Assuming that they can exercise calmness in these next 30-some laps, we should see a green flag cycle. It is single file all at the front, but for how long is Mike? Well, for that, how long? Because we're already 3 wide for fourth.
Yeah, that's Roberts, Sawyer, and Pressy. And Roberts does wash up just a little bit, but slots in behind Toto Sawyer rather than into the side pod. This is a tricky spot, and now Pressy has a little bit clean air. He's in second place with Peach and Perry behind. Remember, those two don't have fast repairs available. They need to be outside of the trouble. And Pressy's thinking that being ahead of it is the best way to do that. He currently fighting on the outside of Emma Kruder for the race lead and has the run off the corner. And Nicholas Pressy is going to go to the race lead with 70 laps to go. Now Bren Roberts is there. We saw Pressy probably could have closed it off, but opted for the safer maneuver and leaving that lane open for Bren, who now does lead the lap, and now Pressy stuck middle 3 with Emma Kruder to the outside. This is not the situation he wants to be in right now.
So Nick Pressy runs in second right now with Bren Roberts, who is not fighting for a championship, and Emma Kruger, who is not fighting for a championship. Pressy will decide to move to the inside and try to keep that lead all by himself. Has he learned the Saussure technique? Will he stay on that inside line as long as he can? 86 laps complete, and that leaves us with, what, 70 to go?
Yeah. I believe 69 laps to go this time by. Pressy tried to block the move, it looked like, from Bren Roberts, but had to back out of it. And Brent gets to the high side. Here's now Trisha Sawyer. Remember, these are 2 of the top 3. Christina Ryan back in 7th place, not opting to fight at the front of the field just yet. There she is at the back of this shot. But she's got that extra life, so she can be calm now, try and save that resource, and then bring the aggression right at the end. And now she's actually moved up into the 5th position, so the ebb and the flow very strong in this lead group as Bren Roberts leads away from Emma Kruger.
"88 laps about to be complete. Bren Roberts still at the front, and they are just separated by mere tenths of a second. Every position down through this field, and every spot is so tightly contested. Action can happen anywhere. It really can. Even between our championship contenders. Nick Pressy sits ahead of Christina Ryan, who needs to stay on the low side because Mo Perry is there. Then we have Bryce Saussure on the outside of Christina Ryan also. Don't think there won't be any gamesmanship, any teammates trying to do favors for other teammates in this race. We have seen it before this season. 65 laps to go next time by.
Yeah, and especially with Nicholas Pressy and Bryce Saussure, they are, I think, the longest running teammate duo in the Champ Car Series, and they've shown so many times the way they work together. They work together for wins in these Triple Crown races before, most notably at Michigan, out-dueling a TMR duo of Lyle Zir and Alex Miller back in season number 6, I believe. And they did have won the first 2 of the Triple Crown events this season. They'd love to make it a sweep, and for the the Drivers' Championship, they love if it's the 94 who leads the way. Right now, it's Bren Roberts ahead of Emma Kruger, and that teammate duo runs 5th and 7th currently. But they're close together. They can start to shake and bake up through the field.
'91 of 155 up on the board. Bren Roberts still out front, so we're more than halfway, Liv. Let's recap from the beginning of this race here. What has changed in terms of who's dominating this race, and what should we expect in terms of when drivers will make that final push to stay at the front?
Yeah, I mean, we still have one pit stop cycle to go. I think that's the most important thing in a race like this. Everything before the final stops is that sort of maneuvering of trying to get yourself into a good position just for pit entry, and then it's really after everyone is good to the end that things start to get a little bit more hectic. So it's about, if we can get to the green flag cycle, execution on the way into pit road, on the way off pit road, and then working with whatever cars happen to be around you, even if they're on a different lap than you, to just try and extend the lead as much as possible and to separate as many cars as possible from the fight. That is the way that you win one of these long races. And if that is what the plan is, it's going to be another maybe 20 laps before we see any action down on pit road to kick that cycle off. I'd expect lap 115 to be pretty close to the magic number.
Drivers last pitting on lap 76, so that's going to bring them to roughly 115 on this expected fuel run. That's still 20 laps away. So if it stays green within the next 10 minutes, expect them all to file down into the pits. Tucker Sawyer, Christina Ryan in that outside line, running 3rd and 4th. Nick Pressey on the outside of his teammate Bryce Saucier. They're trying to get further up into the field from 5th and 6th. How about one driver that we haven't said too much about, Miss Lilac Zier in the 8-9. She's now to the inside of Bryce Saucier. She's going to make her way into this top 6.
Yeah, and a patient drive, as we have seen a number of times from our reigning series champion, not able to run a full-time schedule to defend that title this season, but has been a fantastic driver and is always there at the end of a race to try and take advantage of a situation. Can be a fuel mileage situation, or it can just be making it through the chaos on the final lap. The 89, definitely a dark horse pick to try and take home this race win. We got Tucker Sawyer back to the front of the field now, fighting with Emma Kruger. We've got Ryan and Pressey in a battle for 4th position. All of your championship contenders inside the top 5 as things stand, as we enter the final 60 laps of action. And they're 3 wide for the race lead. Sawyer has picked the low side and is going to try and make that work, but Bren Roberts has been very good in that middle groove and will retake the race lead.
Quickly approaching that 100 lap mark. It'll bring us to the magic 55 to go. Bren Roberts, Emma Kruger, Tucker Sawyer in frame right now. Christina Ryan, Nick Pressey, Mo Parry, the next 3 behind them. Double 9s up on the board. Drag race across the line. It's Bren Roberts leading on that inside. Emma Kruger in that equally black car on the outside. And every battle kind of just looks like this, Liv. Nick Pressey on the inside line. He's losing ground to Chris Ryan, and Mo Parry's now on the attack.
Yeah, and I think, so I've just checked the thermometers down on the track, and the temp has gotten to 113 Fahrenheit now. I think this is where that inside line starts to lose its momentum. It's where you really need to have that additional slingshot from a outer groove, and you can actually see that at the front of the field. Cruder entering from lane 3, Tucker Sawyer giving the room all the way up to the wall. I think the last third of this race could have a very different dynamic than what we've seen in the opening 100 laps. Drivers need to arc the corner more, and it's going to be a battle of mid-corner speed and tire grip to try and make it through to the end.
Tucker Sawyer has now climbed back to the top. If there was ever a push to make that championship run, this is the time. Double points, 55 laps to go. Now, Tucker Sawyer has used all his fast repairs. Nick Pressey has used all his fast repairs. Christina Ryan, who is 7 points ahead of Sawyer and 32 points behind Nick Pressey, still has a fast repair remaining. Now, take that with a massive pinch of salt, because anything can happen in the next 54 laps of competition. For now, Liv Hayward, Tucker Sawyer is battling with Emma Kruger. Christina Ryan can benefit on the fuel saving, as can Nick Pressey.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a long game to play. I don't think the fuel save is that difficult, although there is the factor now of the fact that we're using these full-length tanks, 70 litres or 18.5 gallons available. It takes between 9 and 10 seconds to fill that full of racing fuel, and the tyres only take about 7 seconds to change. And so if you can do a little bit extra fuel saving, you can make your stationary time in the green flag pit stop a little bit shorter, and that could give you just an edge through the cycle. But the question is that worth dropping back a couple of seconds to do that fuel saving? Maybe not. It's going to be interesting to see what drivers can save and stay at the front of the field. But right now, it is Emma Kruger and Tucker Sawyer who lead the way. And Tucker Sawyer, this would be 80 points finishing in second place for the number 19. That would be a huge gain. Christina Ryan would only get, I believe, 60 points for that fifth place, where she currently runs.
Quickly approaching that pit stop mark as well, by the way. Drivers pitting on 76. I predicted they'll make it to about 115. We're 10 laps from that mark now. We're 41 laps from the finish of what you could call the quarterfinal. Looking at the upcoming Champ Car races, there's only 2 left after this one, Liv. We have Chicagoland coming up on October 1st, and then we have one more postponed race that we're making up, is that right?
Yeah, so it'll be your trip over to Portland, just up the coast, next week. And then Chicagoland will remain as the season finale, but will be moved a week further down the line to October 8th.
There it is. Portland, Chicagoland. Portland next week, Chicagoland in 2 weeks. Is it 2 weeks, or are we taking a break?
It'll be 2 weeks' time. We are going to see this
2
one
weeks.
all the way through.
Brilliant. All right, so no breaks to the end. And that's really going to be it. Now, Portland is where we expect Tucker Sawyer to shine. Tucker Sawyer has been the darling of the road course races at the beginning of the season, and it would behoove him to be that bookend for the road course races at the end. He says ovals aren't his thing. Olivia, I beg to differ.
Yeah, he is leading the way. He's never had an oval win in Champ Car, if I am not mistaken. What a time it would be to flip that script on the most important race of the season. His previous best oval finish, as I pull up the stats here, was a 4th place, and it was in the Triple Crown. It was in the Arrowhead 500. He shines in these big moments. He currently runs in the 2nd position. One thing I will say about that Portland race that is coming up, it's seemingly a bit of a difficult track to overtake in these cars, and so that qualifying duel is going to be very important indeed. And that's where Nicholas Pressey has been strong on the road courses this season. So if the 94 could put it on pole down at Portland, he might just have a chance to fend off Tucker Sawyer which is a good thing because right now Sawyer is running and looking to pick up a haul of points.
Ever closer to what would be the final pit stop of this race. If you just tuned in, you've missed quite a bit. I think we almost just had another incident right there, as a matter of fact. We're inside the final 40 laps of racing. We're approaching... No, we're not. We're not inside the final 40 laps of anything. I'm sorry. We're inside the final 50 laps of racing. Liv, I can't math. We have, what, 46 laps to go?
Mm-hmm. So the window is going to open very soon indeed. We sort of just saw it had the wall there. I'm trying to see. I think the car looks to be undamaged from that. But those wall contacts can be very tricky to the floor of this race car. So Sawyer a little bit fortunate to get away with that one. He has fallen back now into the 4th position. Lilac Zir just behind. And then, of course, Christina Ryan runs in that 6th spot, looking to slice up through the field. Pressy's down in 11th right now. Needs to improve on that before the end of the race if he wants to hold on to the championship lead. Has that pit cycle to make things happen. Sawyer, I think, has maybe been the driver who's made more mistakes on pit road this season out of the 3. But this is going to be a very important stop for the championship. And drivers, they need to be aggressive. They need to try and gain time and gain track position. But if they step over the mark, then they are out of this one entirely.
112 of the scheduled 155. 44 laps to go, and we have our Olympic track formation again. One car in a staggered position up the 4 lanes of the racetrack. Emma Kruger, Bryce Saucier, Tucker Sawyer, your top 3. Mo Perry, Lilac Zir running 4th and 5th. How about Vitor Guilherme? 50% of our Brazilians are in the top 6. Championship contender Christina Ryan is 4 spots ahead of Nick Pressey, by the way. This final pit stop could and probably will make or break how the points line up going into next week's semifinal.
Yeah, this is... It all depends on Nicholas Pressey, because if Pressey can come through and take the race win, then that would close to secure the championship, especially if the other drivers have bad finishes. That would be a big point swing. If Pressey has a bad run and maybe finishes in 11th place here, it would hand the lead over to one of Sawyer or Ryan. But it would definitely still be all to play for. As you mentioned, Portland, a track where we expect Sawyer to do well. Chicagoland, a track where Christina Ryan has won in Champ Car before. There's a little bit of something for everyone, as Emma Kruger is going to be the first driver to pit here with 41 laps to go. He's going to need to save to get to the end here. We'll see how much longer everyone else can go. Sawyer's been running up front a lot in this stint. How much more fuel does the 19 have in the tank?
Sawyer, Zir, Guilherme, the podium positions as they run. 40 laps to go this time by. Emma Kruger is in the pits. Carmen Sienna also in the pits, but Carmen Sienna also hasn't run for the last 30-some laps, and the caution's out as Emma Kruger comes in. Yellow flag is out. Huge crash there. Christina Ryan's been involved. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Chris Ryan's involved, Mitch Samedo, Lily Sharp.
And she's on the wheels,
just as I was saying,
the rear's broken. She has to tow it back to pit lane. She's a lap down as the field comes back through. And that's the problem. She has the faster car, but she's going to be a lap down from the field.
I'm not concerned about that. We're definitely going to have at least 2. I'll bet a cold beer on that. We're going to have at least 2 more cautions before this race is over. So just nowhere for her to go. I shudder to think that netcode again is the reason for this crash. Pressey's teammate Bryce Saucier is involved. I think that's going to be his use of the fast repair as well. If we can, let's get one more look from the sky. Yep, you read my mind. Oh, that's embarrassing.
And Perry's washing up, but is keeping it held. And then
That's
Christina Ryan
embarrassing,
is
Liv.
just already tracking out towards the wall, gets into the catch fence.
None she's going to do.
Yeah, no, that is so unfortunate. And there goes Nicholas Pressey at the bottom of shot, keeping his fast repair intact. Of course, Sawyer well ahead of this. The other driver who got caught out from this, in fact, it is just those two drivers who have picked up significant damage. Semedo had to go towards pit lane, actually, to avoid the incident, it looks like. There's a great job slicing through, but there's Christina, of course.
Yeah.
Landing on the wheels, but that rear axle is shattered. You saw she tried to roll it back to the box, and it just wouldn't go. So Bryce is going to get the fast repair, but Christina is going to be one lap down as you see the state of the car as she waits for the tow to complete. Hopefully it's just the one lap. It could be a second, potentially. She'll have to fight Edson Santos for the lucky dodge, I think, in this situation, because Edson was a couple laps down from that black flag earlier in the race. Of course, the rest of the field did make their pit stops in that as well. Emma Kruger has cycled to the front of the field. She stayed lead lap with the caution coming out. And this safety car period should give just enough time to help the 70 make it to the end of the race. Christina Ryan is rolling, is only one lap down for your current second place in points. She needs to catch caution. She needs to catch a lucky dog, which is in effect in this series, but she's also got to fight the number 20 of Edson Santos for that free pass position. We have 14 cars on the lead lap. And as we come to one lap to green, we are set to restart with 37 laps to the end. It's a slight fuel save, but it should be pretty close to full push from here.
Ready to hit the line. Again, Emma Kruger has control of the field. We're going to go back to green flag racing. We're inside the final 40 laps. Let's see if we can go green to the end. Kruger gets a great jump. Tucker Sawyer in that second position, now trailing behind Emma Kruger. Liv Hayward, they are on the button. They're moving.
Yeah, and Tucker immediately goes to the inside, goes for the race lead. Kruger had no defense for that one. He's going to slot into the second position, but could be under threat from Lilac Zia. We mentioned the threat that Lilac could be late in the running here. Mo Perry comes down pit lane to serve a black flag that got picked up in that last caution. We have 36 laps to go. 13 drivers in this lead group. Christina Ryan looking to charge up through the field, looking to be in that lucky job position and praying for another caution to deal her back into this one. All three of our championship contenders have now been in a major incident. There are one fast pair available for each car. All three of those drivers have now used that up.
Lilac Zia in control, but not without any debate from Tucker Sawyer on the left-hand side. Emma Kruger sits in third. Hunter Peach is in that, well, not anymore. Now they've swapped. Hunter Peach is it, well, and Emma Kruger's back to fourth. Vitor Guillerme is in that fifth position with championship leader Nick Pressey just behind him, approaching the final 30 laps of action. Everybody pitting on lap 116, Liv. They should be good to go from here.
Yeah, it'll maybe if you're the leader the whole way through, you might be struggling on a fuel number. But with how much the drivers have been swapping over the course of the run, I would expect that everyone should be good on fuel. And of course, we know that you're expecting a caution to come through the rest of this one. That would make it guaranteed. And then it'd just be a question of whether you want to come in for a fresh set of tyres, which could be an interesting call towards the end of the race.
Genuinely, let's see what happens here. The way that they're bunched up at the back, I mean, I think I just saw Colin McDonough brush the wall back there. I would love if they, I believe it would be the longest green flag run we've had this race if they go green to the end from here, near to it. Given the net code out of turn number 4, because really net code has been the cause for at least 3 of our 5 or 6 cautions tonight. The drivers are going to get closer, and I think that netcode is really going to affect some more drivers here as the race goes on. I hope I'm wrong, and Tucker Sawyer hopes I'm wrong too, because he's loving this race from the front.
Yeah, the margins are closing in at this phase of the race. You're seeing drivers take those 3 wide moves a lot more readily. It's going to be like this towards the rest of the race. And I think it's also that drivers are having to wash out to the wall more, because the track temp is above 110. I hope that we don't get any more of those incidents and that we can have some clean running to get to the final laps. There's always a danger in online racing, and we have seen it rear its head more than a few times tonight.
So Bren Roberts in control of this field. I know Bren. I've spoken to Bren several times. Bren races in Thursday Night Thunder, so I talked to Bren several times a season, a year, and we've gotten to know each other quite a bit. So I would love for Bren to win this race. I'm also friends with Nick Pressey as well. He's in that same boat because Bren and Nick run in the same stock car series as they do the open wheel series. I would love for both of them to win this race. I would also love for this championship to really be close to the end. So Tucker Sawyer winning this would just almost put him right up there with Nick Pressey. But of course, Pressey's in ultimate damage control mode. He sits there in that second position. However, Christina Ryan's in 16th. At the tail end of all of this, hoping that a caution comes out. Coming out of that fourth corner, Liv, Bren Roberts has the lead. We have 29 laps to go. Single file, first all the way down to 7th.
Yeah, a great charge from Nicholas Pressey in this most recent run. Back up where he needs to be. And I think timing it now that he knows that it's now or never. We saw with Christina that at a certain point, getting into a wreck is going to cause trouble no matter what. I'd say for the 80, if a caution doesn't fly, that is unfortunately championship over. It's going to become a 2-horse race between Pressey and Sawyer. If she can catch a lucky god, or if something happens to one of those contenders, then she still has a chance. But right now, Nicholas Pressey, the championship leader, already by 32 points, is doing everything that he needs to do, trying to complete the Triple Crown sweep for NPM. And this would be a dagger in the hopes of the trailing cars.
How about Nick Pressey to the outside of Bren Roberts? A win here for Nick Pressey would give him the ultimate advantage into next week's race at Portland, where Tucker Sawyer will have, in my opinion, the best shot of winning the race, because it's a road course and it's Tucker Sawyer. Take nothing away from Nick Pressey, take nothing away from Christina Ryan, and we've seen them both win on road courses before. However, just the trend shows Tucker Sawyer's going to be better at that road course. But of course, it's going to be nothing if Nick Pressey pulls off this win because he's got a 32-point gap right now. And I don't know. Liv, I don't know. There's going to be 25 laps to go next time by. Literally anything could happen. We're making predictions on things that might not even matter in the next 15 minutes.
Yeah, and at the front of the field right now, that's the number 20 of Edson Santos. Trying to race his lap back so the caution waves him through. And there's the caution. And it's his teammate, Vitor Diem.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. There it is.
Again. Lost the rear wing damage to the rear corner.
Oh, you got to be kidding me. That's her championship.
And it's another meatball, and that's gonna do it.
That's the championship for Chris Ryan. I tell you, and she was doing everything right, Liv. She did everything right. She waited at the back, tried to stay out of trouble, predicting that this very caution would happen. I'm going to be pissed off if this is netcode, and I know it's going to be. I know it will be. What'd I tell you? What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you it was going to be netcode again? Didn't I tell you we're going to have another caution because of netcode? And nowhere for Chris Ryan to go. She barely touched him. That's how close. That's how close her championship could have been saved. And the net code has taken this away from her.
Yeah, I think Edson was behind
sucks,
the leader,
Liv.
and so it would have been Edson going through on the lucky dog. But she would have still had a fighting chance. It's such a close margin. She just had on the front, and then I think it was Jason Duckworth coming through unsighted behind, also got a piece. And unfortunately, that is going to be the 80 out of this race. You see the wind damage. The wheel is also not pointed where it needs to. That is going to be the end of the road for Christina Ryan. At the front of the field, we have 3 drivers who stay out under this caution. Tucker Sawyer, Colin McDonough, and Hunter Peach. The rest of the field comes in for a fresh set of tyres, and that will mean Nicholas Pressey leaves pit road in 4th place. He will start on the outside of row number 2. And it's now a duel for the title between the 19 and the 94. We will restart with 22 laps to go. We'll be right back with the restart in just a moment's time.
Just over 20 laps to go at iRacing's Auto Club. Championship hopeful Tucker Sawyer has control of the field. He is 39 points behind Nick Pressey coming into this race. Pressey is second on the outside line. Green flag is out. 22 to go at Auto Club. Live right there. There's another car in the wall. It's Mo Perry who's gone into the wall. We stay green for now. Tucker Sawyer, Hunter Peach, Bren Roberts, 3 wide for the lead, and it's Roberts who comes out in the top spot. That's Hunter Peach in that blue and orange Hendrick Cars machine. How about Tucker Sawyer third in line? Colin McDonough has joined the fray. Nick Pressey fourth on the inside.
Bryce Sosa also with a black flag comes down pit road at the back of the field. A couple drivers dropping out of this Group 12 cars now in this lead pack. And it is Sawyer who runs 5th and Pressey who runs 7th right now. But it's Bren Roberts, started down in 18th place, who leads Hunter Peach, who started in 15th. These drivers have made the hard charge through tonight, and they currently run at the front of the field with 20 laps to go.
Hunter Peach on the outside, the rookie with one of his part-time starts, now just trying to fight for that top spot. Mo Perry will rejoin. Bren Roberts quickly takes the lead back, and how about Colin McDonough? He wants to get in this mix as well. Bryce Sosa is out of this one, so is Nick Pressey now going to have help from McDonough in his championship fight. Correction, Sosa is not out. He is just out of contention for winning this race, barring a couple of late race cautions. 3 wide for the top spot. We're inside the final 20 laps.
Yeah, it is a great run from Bren Roberts. He leads where he's defending this position right now. Peach goes to the high side to try and make that run happen. Cruder's going to go middle 3 wide here. Get that run and is going to clear Hunter Peach nice and quickly. There's going to be contact, to be side by side between Bren Roberts and Emma Kruder coming off the corner. And now Peach gets back to the middle, is going to go for that move once again.
Let's hope they make the next 17 laps caution free. Hunter Peach, Bren Roberts at the top spot. Colin McDonough, Lily Sharp now nose to tail. Mitch Samato's in that mix too. How about Lilac Zier in the 89? She's had that quiet drive like you mentioned earlier, Liv. She's 3 wide for second, and oh, 1 car's in the wall. It's the 70 of Emma Kruger. She keeps it moving. Saucier on the outside, and the Argentine driver Matias Marcomini trying to fight for his top 5 spot.
Yeah, those are brave moves that Lilac Zier has just made. Coming through 3 and 4. Tucked it to the very lowest lane in turn 3. And this is exactly how she likes to run these races. Plays it nice and cautious. Keeps the tires and the fuel underneath her. But when she needs to attack, she can be on it. And she's going to be to the outside of Hunter Peach, going for the race lead. He won't have it this time by, and Bren Roberts is going to try and spoil the party.
15 1/2 laps remain. Bren Roberts finds himself the sitting duck as Lilac Zier will now get the tow. Matias Marcomini now trying to follow suit in that green number 77. He sits behind Hunter Peach, single file, 8 cars deep. Tucker Sawyer now sits ahead of Lily Sharp, who's in a side-by-side battle with teammate Colin McDonough. Nick Pressey behind all of them, and this will not continue, guaranteed, because when it comes to this championship fight, I'm willing to bet that those 2 cars are acting almost as icebreakers or just helping Pressey get the tow that he needs to get around the rest of the field. Keep in mind, Liv, Tucker Sawyer, the number 19, he's just ahead of these Pressey teammates. We're still watching the lead at the front here. Bren Roberts, Emma Kruger, Lilac Zier fighting with 14 laps to go.
Yes, Sawyer and Pressey need to make those moves up through the field pretty much now. They can't afford to sit that far back, especially for Tucker Sawyer, who needs to maximize the gain in this race. Remember, he entered this race 39 points behind Nicholas Pressey. That's nearly a full race in normal conditions, but in a double points round, you can pick that up very quickly. You just need to be at the front of the field. Tucker needs better than 9th right now.
Roberts at the front. That hasn't changed. Lilac Zier still there. Nick Pressey now towing behind the 19 of Tucker Sawyer with Lily Sharp in the 71 to his inside. How is Pressey going to manage this? Sawyer just needs to keep Pressey behind him. He knows this. It's not about the win. It's about closing that gap. Sawyer just needs to stay ahead of car 94. Single file, and it's a 2-car fight for the lead.
Yeah, Zier takes lead on the slingshot with Brent Roberts behind. Edson Santos, who started at the tail end of the field, was a lap down until the most recent caution, is back to the front of the group and is looking to race for the win. Santos has always had pace here in Champ Car, but has sometimes struggled to convert it. In his season, or career stats, I should say, only has 3 wins: Pocono, Homestead, and Gateway. He would love to take a 4th in a Triple Crown event. And in fact, he is going to be to the outside, it looks like, of Brent Roberts, with Hunter Peach making it 3. This top 4 fanning out with 10 to go. And that is Hunter Peach, who goes just 2 wheels below the line to get to the inside. Not intentional, of course, but he is going to continue the fight. That was a brave, committed move to the inside from the 6.
10 laps to go. Liv Hayward down to turn number 1. It's a 2-car fight for the lead. Edson Santos currently leading this race, coming back from that black flag.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone in this group still has a chance to win. This is Edson who leads the way right now. Kruger looking to make the move on the outside. And it's a question of who is going to make the move down low. It's not going to be like that. She's going to stick to the wall.
Through 3 and 4, Emma Kruger on the outside. Lilac Zier in that 2nd and 3rd position now. Santos continues to lead. Down the front straight, Hunter Peach still well in contention with Bren Roberts and Marco Mini behind them. Weaving into turn 1, we've got a fight for first.
Yeah, and it's Kruger trying to pinch Santos, but the low side gets the car clear. Now it's Lilac who goes to the low side. Santos is going to cover it off. Zier has to back the nose out. She's going to follow in the dirty air in 2nd place. Emma Kruger looking for the crossover. But great work from Lilac to hold on to that position. She can now build that run on Edson ahead.
Into that first corner, Liv Hayward. Santos has that battle on the outside.
Bobble from Lilac gives Emma the inside line. They are going to be side by side. Lilac struggling in 2nd place. Can't get this move done on Edson right now.
Into that 3rd corner, Edson Santos now part of a 3-wide battle as Brent Roberts will make it high on the outside. Doesn't have the grip, but he'll have the exit speed into turn number 1. Down this front straight, Liv. Santos on the inside. Zier on the outside. In the middle now has Brent Roberts on the outside. 3 wide into 1.
And Pressey and Sawyer both running 10th and 12th place right now. It honestly deals Christina in just a little bit. She has come back out, but she's 9 laps down. The storyline right now is at the front between these 3 drivers.
Into that 3rd corner, Brent Roberts now tying down on Edson Santos. So both of these drivers just here for the win. Matter of fact, everybody that's not named Nick Pressey and Sawyer, they're just here for that win. Nick Pressey is now pulling away from Tucker Sawyer with teammate calling up behind him, and Bryce Sosier now took the fastest lap of the race, Liv.
Yeah, she's going to get out of the way of this group. Edson is pinned to that inside line. Lilac Zier, most of a car ahead on entry, but just can't hold that middle groove. Edson continues to hold on to the race lead. We have 5 laps to go next time by.
Careening into the first corner, Edson Santos now again part of that 3-wide battle. Brent Roberts doesn't stop the outside move coming, does he, Liv?
No, and remember, a caution now would end the race, so it is crucial. You need to be ahead as much as possible in case something happens behind. Roberts goes to the inside. Does he get there? He can't quite hold it. Edson continues to hold on to the race lead with Lilac Zero on the high side.
Doesn't have the grip into turn number 3. Edson Santos will lead, coming to 4 laps to go. Lilac Zero will now have the toe behind him. Rookie Hunter Peach in 3rd. Bren Roberts, Emma Kruger, Mark Amini 3 wide for 5th.
Yeah, and Zir does have the lead on the corner entry. A caution was what she was hoping for. Now they're side by side. She holds on to that line through turn 2, and she's doing a drag race with Hunter Peach behind. Now to the outside, they're going to be 3 wide.
Into that 3rd corner, 3 wide again. Santos, Zir, Peach. 3 to go this time by. Santos applying the Saussure technique, being really tight on the inside. Here comes Zir trying to open up that bottom lane. Has to stay above that white line. 3 to go next time by, Liv Hayward.
Yeah, and you can see Lilac knows that the low side is just working too well for Edson. She's tried to take it away, but now she's fallen into the group. It's Bren Roberts who has the attempt, and Hunter Peach behind. Is he going to make it 3 wide in turns 3 and 4? No, they're going to be together. It's going to be netcode, it looks like.
Be kidding.
This spin, the caution flies, and Edson Santos is scored as your leader. He's going to win this race.
Edson Santos is going to win this race. Bren Roberts involved in this one. Nick Pressey, unofficially 4th. Tucker Sawyer, unofficially 11th. This championship is going to be so much easier for Nick Pressey to win headed into next week's race.
2 laps to go. This will end the race. Let's have a look at this incident. And you can see the cars just get stuck together. It's Edson takes a wide line on the entrance. Roll it back a little bit further, actually, so we can see how that progressed down the back stretch. Remember, this is Bren Roberts and Edson Santos. See the move from Bren, middle 3. Through turns 1 and 2. But then it's into turn 3 where it all unravels for Bren. Is holding that 2nd groove. And they just catch each other. Just the tiniest of bumps on entry. Bren ends up washing out into the wall. Marcamini gets a piece, but it looks like it can hold on for position potentially. And of course the caution has to fly with the field coming through. And Edson Santos able to lead the way as we come through now. It'll be the white flag out on track, and it is going to be Edson Santos who leads the way. Hunter Peach in 2nd. Zir will round out the podium. Marcamini limping it home with a broken wheel for 4th place, and Nicholas Pressey picks up 70 points. 70 points? No, 60 points towards his championship campaign. That is going to be so difficult to overcome from Tucker Sawyer and Christina Ryan.
Tucker's going to need some help next week in Portland. He's absolutely going to need some help next week in Portland. However, I mean, this is racing. It's why we watch it. It's why we love it. Anything is possible. And if somebody's really going to be practicing, sure that that he does everything possible to be there at the end, it has to be Tucker Sawyer. If he wants to win this championship, Tucker Sawyer is going to practice harder than he's practiced this season.
I think Tucker Sawyer needs a lot more than anything else out of this one. The lead that Pressey's going to hold is going to be well above 50 points. He needs an early DNF from Pressey. He needs to win and basically score every point. It's going to be tricky, but we'll think about that one next week over in Oregon. Because right now, as we come to the yellow and the checker, it is going to be the number 20 of Edson Santos, his 4th Champ Car World Series win and his 1st Triple Crown.
Fantastic win for Santos coming back from a penalty. He was there when it counted. Hunter Peach, Lilac Zier, and Matthias Marcomini finishing second, third, and fourth. Fans, don't go anywhere. We're going to talk to our podium finishers in just a moment.
And we are back with post-race coverage of the ABN California 500. Edson Santos is on his way to victory lane. Meanwhile, we are going to have a quick word with your second place finisher, Hunter Peach.
Hunter Peach, Rick James in the booth. This is a very rare sight to see you in the ABN Champ World Series, but it nearly turned out to be a win in one of your rare starts in your rookie season. How was your race?
Well, first off, I wouldn't say I'm fully a rookie. I made a couple starts. And also, Rick, how you been? It's been a long time.
It's been a very long time. I'm fantastic. Thank you for asking. Made a couple appearances on Flow Racing last time I spoke, but things are going well.
But no, I don't know how we got a P2. I'm just as shocked as y'all are, honestly. I don't even know. Like,
It turned out to be a good race, though. It genuinely, it seems like it wasn't a flash in the pan. You were up towards the front of this race. You stayed towards the front of this race, fighting off pressure from people behind you and the defense from the drivers in front. What more did you need to get that dub?
I think one more set of corners to get the W for sure. But no, all in all, I had really fun racing. You know, it was great to actually be back after having a 2-week off break where we're supposed to be in Portland, but now we're here in Auto Club. So it was fun to race this track, and I think this combo is really good. Sucks that IndyCar don't go here no more, but you know, I thought everybody raced pretty good, and actually be able to run up there with the front runners for once in a lifetime. So I think since Indy or whatever, I don't know. I know I only do like ovals, so. But yeah, I think we just needed a little bit more of a straightaway. I think the car lacked a little bit of speed, and I struggled at first, got an early wreck, and then towards the middle of the stand, I kind of started to figure out lean on the right rear and a little bit more was the way to go, and just car really hooked in.
Congratulations on that second place. Next week we're going to Portland. Can we count on seeing you there?
Well, my first road course was supposed to be in Mid-Ohio when it was supposed to rain, so that would have been fun, and probably would have wrecked in turn one like a Kyle Busch at Mexico. But looking forward to trying to race Portland for sure to make our first road course start. So I'll probably get my ass kicked, not going to lie. I know everybody's good at road courses, and I'm not very great at it, at least in the IndyCar wise. So looking forward to that. So hoping to see y'all there.
We'll see you in a week's time. Congratulations on second.
Yes, sir.
Liv, you've got our third place finisher.
Sure
Hello.
do. Hello, Lilac. Season 6 champion, returning for a few races this year. It's great to have you back, and it's great to have you back on the podium. Talk us through that race. How did you find it out on track?
Yeah, it's good to be here. I love Auto Club. We were at first, we thought we might have the low front end, the no grip package, but then we switched to the some grip package, which was good. Probably I like them both, but ideally we'd have less grip, but have it be more balanced, which we're not going to have with either of these sets, which is just how it is. But even with the amount of downforce we put on this car for when the setup is how it's supposed to be, it still gets slippery, and at the end of a long run, it's really fun. So I was just riding at the start, and I was just taking it easy. And it's funny, I had the broadcast up, and when you said there was no chance anyone could go 50 laps with one stop to the end, I'm like, I think I could probably do it. And then cautions ruined it. But after that, it was go time, and I pretty much just said, okay, I'm going to go to the front now and just at least be up front and around the pack. And then once we got that last caution, I'm like, all right, no fuel saving needed whatsoever. Gonna go push, and had a lot of fun drafting up there, passing people, swapping spots. Got kind of blocked on one of the late laps there, which, you know, it is what it is. That's how racing goes. And fell back a bit, and then I didn't see what happened on the last wreck there. Luckily, I was able to avoid it and get through to the podium. I thought I was second, but third's good too.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a fantastic... I was thinking you might be thinking about that fuel save, but I'm glad we got to race through to the end at full gas instead. And as always, you made it count at the end of the race. If there's anything you want to say to the fans at home, now's the time. Congratulations.
Just hope everyone had a good time watching the show. I know the netcode's a bummer, but it was still a lot of exciting racing out there, I think. And looking forward to, I'm going to be here for Portland too, or should be here next week for Portland, and do one more race this season. So I'm excited and hope everyone had fun. And hi to my fans at home. Thanks to my team, Taylor Mills Racing. And sorry, Mo, I forgot to go in and help in voice chat. Sorry.
All right, well, we look forward to seeing you next week. That is Lilac Zir, your third place finisher here at Auto Club. So, without further ado, the car that has now rolled into victory lane and is ready for interview, Rich James is standing by with your race winner, Edson Santos.
Edson Santos, winner at California. Edson, great drive, fantastic skill. How was the car?
Hello, guys. Good night. Yeah, good night, everyone. Well, I started this race with the full intention to be in the bottom. Actually, I guess 50 or 60 laps. Being in last position just to be safe, but even so, there was an accident in front of me. I was nowhere to go, and so I had to use my fast repair. But I was the entire race saving fuel, saving the equipment, the tires, and using a good adjust of bars and weight jacker, and waiting for the best moment. But there is some incidents that put me 2 laps behind the group, the pack, and so I took advantage of the 2 yellow flags. Could make the lucky dog, and in the last stint, the short stint, like 22 laps, I was using 1.6 in bars, weight jacket in +7, +8 in order to be more aggressive and try to gain some positions. And when I was in P1, I just sticked with the white line, trying to to get there and guarantee the victory. I was just concerned about the lapped car that was in front, like 2 or 3 seconds ahead the group, because he was making an outside line and making the draft could help the guys in the middle and the outside line. But yeah, I could keep this position until the end, and 2 laps to go. I had a contact with another driver. Came outside, trying to squeeze me and against the white line. So in the second place, normally I do the same. But came the yellow flag, and so another victory. Is not important to the championship table because I missed several races here, but always it's a pleasure to be in this grid.
It's a pleasure to finally speak with you. A pleasure to see you on the top step of the podium next week at Portland. Another win?
Man, I have to confess something. I'm pretty bad in roads and street circuits. I'm not sure if I'll be there, but maybe just to have fun and not good. I'm specialized in ovals, and maybe I'll be here, but just to have some fun, not in the podium at all.
Hopefully we see you for some more fun. If not, we'll see you in 2 weeks at Chicagoland. Congratulations. Absolutely. Congratulations on that win, Edson. Obrigado. Ciao.
Obrigado. Bye-bye. See you guys.
Fans at home, that's going to do it for our fun tonight. Liv, I had a blast. I think this has to be one of the longest races we've run this season. It's certainly time to put this one to bed and think about next week at Portland.
Yeah, absolutely. What a fantastic race. I mean, just going to run through the final results. And it's hard to remember, Edson Santos started from last place in this one.
Isn't that amazing?
With the race win. Pete started 15th. Will come home in second, and Lilac Zir rounds out your top 3. Mark Amini comes home 4th, and Nicholas Pressey, crucially, finishes in 5th place. We have a points update. He leads Tucker Sawyer by 55 points. That's an entire race haul, and leads Christina Ryan by 61 with 2 rounds to go. Mitch Semedo, Emma Kruger, Colin McDonough, Tucker Sawyer, and Bryce Saucier will round out your top 10. Mo Perry will finish as your last of the lead lap runners. And then, unfortunately, Jason Duckworth, Lily Sharp, and Bren Roberts, after getting caught up in that last incident, will finish 1 lap down. Christina Ryan finishes 10 down, put it home in 15th. A long shot still possible for the title, but going to be a long road to go. Vitor Guillaume, Carmen Sienna, Sam McDonnell, and Eli Sasek round out your field.
Well, that's 19 cars up, 19 cars down, 2 races before we round out this 7th campaign of the ABN Champ Car Series. Next week, Liv and I are going to be right here on ABN Studios, bringing you that semifinal from Portland, and in 2 weeks, it's going to be the final from Chicagoland. Until that next race, everybody stay safe, take care of each other, and we'll see you all around the corner.